Welcome back, Guardians. In today's discussion, we will attempt to interpret fractured information. We will construct, or at least attempt to synthesize a hypothesis regarding a set of gods or overlords in the Hive command structure. To do this properly, we will take information from old Earth religious texts and documents, using it in a way to properly warrant our own claim and ideas about the Hive Pantheon. In this line of conjecture, we will do everything we can to remain respectful to the past, as religion sometimes fans the flame of passion, whether positive or negative. This must be stated, because our goal as seekers of information is to formulate possibilities where only questions exist. To grasp at a better understanding of gods, we must first reach back to the past of humanity to ancient Greece. The Greeks of old gave us marvels. They gave us philosophy, government structure, and most notable for our current use, they gave us a form of polytheistic religion. Not the first polytheistic religion to appear, but useful for our discussion. The ancient Greek religion had 12 Olympians, which were major deities that formed their pantheon. These were Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Demeter, Athena, Apollo, Artemis, Ares, Aphrodite, Hephaestus, Hermes, and either Hestia or Dionysus. Hades was excluded, according to the legend, forever banished to watch over the underworld, the Greek belief of the afterlife. Still to the legend, these gods lived atop Mount Olympus. Of course, according to records of old Earth cartography, the location of Mount Olympus varied through points of history. Regardless of what our human ancestors believed, the pantheon of Greece was worshipped, written into epics from Homer, who was perceived to be an ancient Greek scholar, best known for the Iliad and the Odyssey. Much like the information on the Greek pantheon, the records of Homer vary greatly, and to this day there is speculation if he ever lived, or was a creation of rumor. For our purpose, however, we will presume that both the Homeric epics and the pantheon have influenced our ancestors, and continue to influence us to this day. The term pantheon, when placed upon the Hive, acts as a blanket term, used to describe something we do not fully understand. This can be compared to how we label the darkness. We do not choose that term because it is ominous or gloomy, but because it represents the sum of our greatest fears. For a moment, think if the star at the center of our system was extinguished, soul taken out of our sky and replaced with a deep void. Excluding the immediate gravitational change, we would never know the warmth of our great star ever again. Life, dependent on the light, would perish, and ultimately us, along with it. In essence, the darkness represents both the unknowable and the end of all things. It is the void, a slow death consuming all in its wake. Beyond those words, we know little. No demands have been made, no ulterior motives besides our timely demise, and although we include the fallen, Hive, Vex, and Cabal within the darkness, they do not help explain the greater threat. The Pantheon, in respects to the terminology used on the darkness, act in the same way, as a blanket term, except for one fundamental difference. We know one name, Oryx, father to Crota, who is the world eater, drinker of the light. Oryx appears written in numerous inscriptions found in Hive holy sites across both Earth and Luna. Guardians have gathered some portions of information. Although fragmented, research into ciphers and runes of the Hive leads the cryptarchs to believe the Hive's sects all serve one great master. The blood of Oryx are feared to be the direct servants of this dark lord. The name Oryx appears too many times in Hive rituals to be ignored. Oryx is described as a potential Hive master, or he could just be one god, part of a greater pantheon of Hive deities. These questions raise many possibilities. Where do the Hive come from? Are they native to our galaxy or dimension? Do they use worship or other religious contexts the way humanity did during the old Earth era? Without more information, these questions will remain a mystery to us. Perhaps the traveler knows more, but unfortunately he has been silent for an age, and only the speaker knows his true secrets. With the fall of Crota assured, we can assume that the Hive are far from finished. We are not positive if Crota is even eliminated. He could have been banished back to the Hive realm or knocked back into a long slumber. There was a warlock once who knew the secrets of the Hive, master of the arcane, but he is lost to us, and those who know his whereabouts have no intention of bringing his machinations back into the folds of the city. We speak of Tolan the Shattered, of course, whose interpretations of Hive inscriptions have given the city most of its information on the Hive religious structure. There's also Osiris, another warlock of the Praxic Order. He too knew some of the Hive's greater secrets. Master Raoul has given us information on Osiris and his knowledge of the Hive Pantheon, stating, though Osiris has vanished, his prophecies and parables offer undeniable insight. Even in his time among the vanguard, he spoke with fear of the king named Oryx. His eyes still hunt for the shrines. If Osiris lives, he will know that you struck a blow against one. The Shrine of Oryx, as the vanguard has begun to label it, was destroyed by a fire team of guardians. Ghosts and cryptarchs decrypted some of the information from that incursion. The word shrine is suitable. Reports describe Hive acolytes bending the knee, offering their void shredders up in servitude to some greater unseen entity. Acolytes may be lesser Hive, but the context of worship allows some structure in their daily operations. Why would an all-consuming race of insectoid creatures use religion as a foundation for their society? For a possible explanation, we can look to the Vex in the Black Garden. The heart of the Black Garden, a Vex god or entity of great power, was destroyed by a fire team of guardians under the advisement of the Awoken Queen and the city vanguard. Since the fall of the Black Garden, cryptarchs and scholars alike have begun to question why a biological machine race would use worship over raw computational power. A report from Ikora Rey, warlock mentor to Zavala, can shed light on this question. Report from Ikora Rey to Zavala. It is my hypothesis, a hypothesis at best, that the Vex saw the indomitable presence at the heart of the Black Garden as a divine power. I can hear your protest already. How can machines have a god? The answer is simple. The Vex, for all their voracious intelligence, could not understand or decipher what they found. They searched through all available reactions and settled on the course with the greatest payoff, to worship this power and to remake themselves in its image. I believe the 3 Axis mines found in proximity to the abomination were Vex machines built to serve as vessels for this power, a way to extend its reach across space and time, binding it to the Vex and the Vex to it. If they had succeeded, I cannot begin to guess what horrors they would have unleashed. Ikora explains that through worship and the reimagining of oneself, the Vex found this course of action to offer the most significant reward, allowing the Vex to extend their power base much further than the standard consumption of planets. If you had the ability to remake yourself into a god, a being of undeniable power, would you not do it? Humility, perhaps one of our greatest boons, would demand we say no, at least for some of us. We are mortal, and in our frailty we experience the true essence of life and death, but our enemies do not share our concepts of morality. They are bathed in vices, pride, and debauchery and wrath. They would see themselves become gods to rule over everything or simply destroy it. The same logic Ikora presented to Zavala could potentially explain the Hive. Worship is a powerful factor in the foundation of a society. Crota was but a great servant to Oryx, some would say his son, or one of his most terrible princes. With Crota gone, or at least banished at the hands of the light, we can assume that Oryx will turn his wrathful gaze towards us, attempting to take revenge upon us and our traveler. Oryx will act through his servants, just as the traveler acts through us. But hold fast, Guardian. There is cause for hope. In only a short time, we have seen 2 gods of different enemies fall. The Black Heart and Crota have been banished back to whatever darkness-ridden abyss they come forth from. It shows us the pantheon of deities that enemies hold so dear are vulnerable. And why should it not? Should not the same logic that befalls our traveler apply to our enemies? If our traveler can be wounded, his power siphoned, can we not do the same to the gods of our opponents? Perhaps we do not face gods at all. Maybe we apply those terms to them because we fear their power, as we rightfully should. But fear should not grip us. It should not keep us bound to our past mistakes. It should not control our actions in the present. Our victories over these gods should not be possible. The very term God does not allow transgressions against it. Perhaps they are not omnipotent and omnipresent. Perhaps they should fear us. We lost everything once to their encroaching and perverted forms of worship. We lost the Golden Age. We lost London. We lost Luna. We lost the sciences of Freehold and Clovis. And now these gods seek to take our light and drink of it. This we will not allow. And we will tear down the columns to their temples and storm their Mount Olympus in righteous fury of the light, and they will know fear as we have. Only then, when these gods are washed away, their perversions eliminated and removed from history, can our way of life be safe. Take solace in the light, Guardian, for it has the power to destroy gods.